welcome to the 200th episode of the Postmodern Art Podcast. Woo! Cheers, applause!
Yay!
It's a lot better than what it was at episode 100. Whenever I said that, and then there was silence afterwards.
Tell us what a cue is.
That was me.
We can't.
That was me initiating the cue. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to what is to be the 200th episode of the Postmodern Art Podcast. I am your host, Aiden Ragland, aka Post, and I want to, before we get to everyone else's introductions, I just want to start by saying thank you guys. Whether this is the first time you're watching an episode of the podcast or the 200th episode of the podcast that you decided to watch, I cannot thank you all for the love and support I have gotten from you guys over the years, whether you are someone that has been gracious enough to donate their time or their artistic skills to help out with the podcast, or just someone that has been a fan of either this podcast or the people that I bring on. It truly means a lot that we've been able to keep this train going up to 200 episodes, and obviously I couldn't do this all by myself, so that's why I decided to bring a good group of friends that have been on the podcast at some form or fashion at one point or the other, and I will let them introduce themselves right now. Ash, would you like to go ahead and start this train off and introduce yourself to the group?
Sure, I'm definitely not having crippling anxiety right now, and I hate being first. Hi. My name is Ash, or Ashesart, Ashley, nickname me whatever. You could name me Skinny Bob, I'll be okay with that. I do the arts. I also have my own project as well. I'm hopefully can eventually up to ground, my purgatory friend, good stuff. And I am just blessed to be here with you.
Well, we love and appreciate you being here as well. Next up on the list, B, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm B. I'm a storyboard artist. I was on the podcast, I think, last year, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be here. All right, Bill, let the people know who you are.
Say his name and
Hello there, gamers. It's me, formerly TF2 Bill, now Bill Callis. And I came on the podcast about a year or two ago now, right?
It's been a couple of years at this point.
God.
Back then I was working at Kroger. Now I quit my job, so needless to say, I feel fucking great.
This boy is unemployed and it's for the better.
For now, anyway.
Yeah, for now, obviously.
He'll find better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I am not an artiste, but I am a voice actor.
That is
so
sorry. Voice acting is an artiste in my former fashion, so give yourself more credit.
Well, okay, fine. Voice acting is my art. There we go.
There you
anyway,
go.
If you want me to do the
This
funny little
program just
hee-hee,
glitched
ha-ha,
and put somebody accidentally put a random line in the middle of my head. I don't know who it is, but it was okay.
not me.
Yeah, I just saw you trying.
No, it was me.
Oh, it
sorry.
was the plot twist.
It was an accident. Sorry.
No, yeah, I didn't figure it was on purpose.
If you want me to do the little hee ha ha voices, just go hit me up on the Twitter and I guess the Discord and I guess the Blue Sky.
There you go.
He's
got a sheet. I got a sheet.
There you go. Don't worry about links and stuff like that. I'm gonna have each of your guys' episode linked in the description below, so that not only can they go back and see just how great of a conversation I had with you guys, but they can also find the links that I have listed on there, so you guys can find more about what you guys got going on.
Yes.
Yay.
Next up on the list, Bones. Would you like to introduce yourself to this fantastic recording?
Hello, I'm Bones. I do illustration, comics, storyboards, compositing, basically a little bit of everything. Do a lot of fan works, and you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky, and sometimes YouTube. That's it.
Nice. Wonderful. I appreciate you. Ace, let the people know who you are.
Hello, my name is Ace Smith. I have a bad sense of time, and I don't know how to get an additional layer to put background colors in my drawing.
Beautiful.
You make a new layer and you put it under the current layer that you have.
Which one's
Fantastic.
where is that?
It's
Oh my
underneath
God, wait,
the
we have
opacity.
layers?
It's like the post-it note with the plus on it.
Oh, okay. I found this. It was so. I could not figure out where that thing was. There's so many little tiny ass controls.
It's okay. It takes time.
I'm
not used to this at all.
Valid, understandable, but hey, we're all here to have a good time experiencing this for the first time for some, I guess. I know I mainly got this idea. I know we did a draw pile for the 100th episode, but also I wanted to use this for this episode because I know that Ash and Tay, you use this all the time, so you guys are like pros when it comes to this stuff.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
At this point.
I have never heard of this.
Well, there you go. There's a first time for everything.
Knowing is
It's
half the
accessible.
battle.
But
G.I. Joe.
And Rosebud.
There you go. Well, where was I? Okay, we dropped off with Ace. Thank you so much. But
That was me.
yes, Roya or Roshan, however you want to be addressed. Go ahead and introduce yourself for the people.
Well, hello there. My name is Roya. Sometimes you can see me as Roya, a artist, animator, storyboard artist, and a silly little guy. But sometimes on Twitch, I can be a silly little space clown named Roshan, who is a Nebula Club variety streamer who lives in a arcade dimension out in space. And you may also know me as the logo designer for the Postmodern Art Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Yeah.
And trust me, we will be talking
Shout
about
out to that.
Yeah,
I would listen to that sometimes.
Trust me, we will definitely be talking about that and then some as we get into the actual the meat of this 200th episode, I guess. But keeping on this little intro train going, Senna, would you like to introduce yourself to the wonderful people?
Oh yeah. Hi, I'm Senna. I work primarily. Oh, I just accidentally got rid of the page. Whoops.
Oh no.
Sorry. I'll be back. I'm an animator and illustrator. I do a little bit of comics on the side, but these days I'm working primarily in ceramics. So if you see anything what I'm posting online, it's probably a decorative plate.
Nice.
Cool.
Very cool.
We love decorative plates around here.
You better learn to love them.
Plate.
Plate.
I love decorative plates as long as they're not the ones that have a ton of lead in them.
Not anymore. I'll tell you that.
Not anymore. Oh God.
Anymore?
I'll say, but that's the most tasty.
What have you been doing?
A lot has happened in the world of ceramics since the 70s.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
no.
Not you personally.
But last for now, and certainly not least by a landslide, Tay, please introduce yourselves to the people.
Hello, I'm Tay Draws, or the artist entertainer, the jack of all trades, that motherfucker. You know who I am. I've had to do this so many times. I draw, I animate, I voice act, I sing, I write, I do it all. You probably know me from my show Asylum, or Havoc in Hell, or some other bullshit I probably put on the internet. Hi.
I was there for Asylum.
Bill, like I was there.
I was also there for Asylum.
Bill's like basically my co-star on everything.
It
He's
was
like
me,
my brother,
Barry.
and I love
I
him.
put you in the asylum.
It was me all along, Austin. I put you in.
I assume there's an asylum and somebody's in it.
Yes.
It's my
Nice.
asylum, and anyone I want is in it.
Oh God. Am I in it?
So you're next.
You could be.
Oh no. How can I tell?
Give me your ring.
When season 3 comes out later, you'll see.
Ace, don't worry. I've been in the asylum. Things were good, at least for me in there. I tried to take Tay's kidneys, but that's a different story.
Watch the asylum on Tay Draw's channel.
Well,
2 seasons.
yeah,
I gave
definitely
mine
do
away
that
for a
thing.
sandwich.
You piece of shit.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Ace?
I said, yeah, definitely listen to that. I don't know. I haven't myself. I'm just going off of the fact that I can probably trust these people.
You can totally trust these people.
you can, I think. I don't know. I know Post is good.
From a certain point of view.
I would like to hope I'm good. I mean, for God's sakes, we're here at 200 episodes of the podcast. I'd like to hope I'm remotely good and remotely, reasonable more than anything else.
I think you're decent at your job, all things considered.
Decent? No, I'm joking. Are you kidding me? I am niche internet micro celebrity host of the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wandering the world over the platform they deserve, featuring such esteemed guests. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going through the whole way.
All right,
Why not?
Sergeant Major General, calm down.
Stop abandoning your bits halfway through them.
Part of my
List
bit is
all
undermining.
200 guests.
Oh God, no! Let's not do that.
We're gonna be here for 2 hours, and then the episode will
Undermining
end.
bits is my bit.
Oh, you like artists? Okay, name all artists.
Oh God. I
Da
like artists.
Vinci.
Leonardo,
Michelangelo.
Raphael, Michelangelo,
Yes.
Donatello,
That's
the
a turtle.
Splinter.
Rembrandt.
No turtles.
Splinter.
My favorite artist.
Shredder.
Shredder.
I love
Rat.
I love the
music.
rat.
It's
It's
just
the
an actual.
worst.
It's just an actual like paper shredder that someone has called an artist or whatnot.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's probably one in the MoMA right now.
I would not
Oh
be
my
surprised
God.
by that. But thank you guys for each showing up. I cannot thank you guys for taking the time to do this. I mean, this has been something that I have been nervous about for weeks, aka a while now. Not like just mainly because again, I don't know. Whenever I started this podcast, it was wild for me to even think I would get this far, like 200 episodes. And obviously I cannot do that without each and every single one of you guys taking the time initially to be here, to talk about yourselves for at least an hour or so whenever you guys were hopping on here. Really get a chance to really love and appreciate what you guys have been able to do both during the interview itself and especially well afterwards with a good chunk of y'all, like really seeing how you guys have each been able to grow and do your own thing. It if nothing else, you guys being here is a really good affirmation, a really good exclamation point on what's been a very interesting ride with this podcast. And once again, I cannot thank you guys enough for being here.
Well,
Thanks
glad
for
to be
having
a part
me.
of it. At least
Yeah.
be a little part of that history, at least,
Oh, absolutely. I can only imagine what it was like for you guys to hop on the podcast at some point, like I'm curious for you guys. How was it like? How should I word this? How was your guys' personal experience when it comes to the podcast itself? 'Cause, like, was it weird? Was it interesting? Like, what was in your guys' heads going on whenever I was like, "Hey, would you like to be on the podcast?"
I mean, it wouldn't have been the first go around for me personally because I don't think, did I tell you during my episode or not? I don't remember. It's been too long. That I was initially supposed to be part of some sort of podcast thing, but it just kind of fell apart.
I gotcha.
Because personalities and shit just kind of just dissipated. It was just like, it is what it is.
I asked you.
Yes,
to
you
be on
did.
there.
Yes.
You did.
Yes. Hey,
I was like-
yes, free to be on here. I was like, sure, yeah, bet.
I was like, put Bill on the podcast, please, thanks. And let me do the thumbnail. I called the thumbnail. If anyone else
Yeah.
does the
Oh,
thumbnail,
yes,
I'll
you
be
did.
mad. So I'm basically the artist for Bill at this point. So
I know who else wants to talk. Who else wants to say more about their unique experience when it comes to the podcast?
I was honored to be asked because I'm like, who the fuck am I? Why did you ask me?
Don't. Sorry,
It's very nice of you.
That is not the question you need to ask. All right,
Oh,
like
my.
because you are a fantastic artist. Like especially because I know the main reason why I wanted to bring you on was that help me and Tipsy, who could not be here today, but help us more or less talk about the Evil Little Thing Kickstarter, which you had been a major part of in one form or fashion, and it was certainly due to like no lack of skill more than anything else because you're still a fantastic artist even to this day.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Plus it didn't hurt that whenever we brought you on it was October, and given your last name being Voorhees, it was like the perfect October episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Very original joke I've never heard before.
I know, right?
I'm pretty sure I said this like during the last time I was on. Like I was like initially skeptical on like why would you choose me out of like all these people? But then like I looked in your discography. You looked through your YouTube channel. I almost said discography because I have music on the brain. Yes, I did. And I saw like a couple of artists that like I was familiar with. And the one that like initially like drew me into like look more into your stuff was when you interviewed Joni Phillips.
Yes,
I was like,
I love her. I love Joni Peppers.
Joni Peppers is Joni, yeah. But when I saw like that you got her, I was like, okay, this guy seems legit, and then I agreed to it, and then we've like known each other ever since.
Yeah, very, very well ever since then with all the cool stuff we've been able to do. I mean, you're one of the few people in this call alone that has not only had a cool opportunity to be on this podcast, but be on the podcast multiple times.
Yes, I have.
I was going to say, in fact, I think the only other person in this call right now for an official episode of the podcast is actually Ace. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hello, I've been on this podcast multiple times.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to get your stuff done so we can do the third go round.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for me to get done with that album too. I'm still waiting. I'm working on it.
I mean, obviously, take your time. I'm not here to rush you more than anything else. Why would I want?
No, I need to be rushed. It's been so long. This thing, I need to finish this thing, put it out so fast. I need to do it yesterday. I need to do it last month.
Last year, even. Anyway,
I'm legitimately at one point, I would have been shocked if you had told me it would be the start of 2025 and the album still wouldn't be out.
It takes time, though.
Oh no, absolutely. That's why we're not gonna be.
Yeah, just like in the middle by Jimmy Eat World.
It just takes some time. Anyways,
don't write yourself off yet.
Well, I
should
wasn't.
be back in.
It doesn't matter.
I was gonna say like
if it's wait.
Oh wait, huh?
How does it go? It doesn't matter if it's in your head. That doesn't make sense.
We're not here to.
It doesn't matter that you feel you're something looked down on.
We're not here to analyze lyrics. All
you
right.
have to just try your best, and you have to try everything you can. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. It just takes some time.
Beautiful.
He has such a way with words.
Yeah, Spotify.com.
Jesus. For those that haven't talked about their experience or whatnot, like I'm curious, like, what was your guys' like experience or at least thought whenever I at least asked you guys to be on the podcast? Because I know for me, it's always a weird thing to like go out and ask talented people such as yourselves to hop on the podcast. So,
like, hey, bud, guess what? You want to hop on here? Like, what?
I don't want to try to talk over people, but definitely I was shocked because, like, I knew about your existence just because I know, like, a couple of my friends, you know, Tay and my other friend, Mare, she also had an episode with you, and I was hearing about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's, like, really cool, and I know, like, you were initiating into some of our friend group, and, like, and then you asked me, I was like, huh? Me? Why? I don't even really have anything really done yet, but sure, okay. And it was just a really fun time. And I also know with one of the other episodes, the first ever one you had live.
Yes.
It was all with us with our friend group to MomoCon for Rip and Trey. I know that wasn't really an episode for me, but I know I was present there with a lot of us as well, and that was such a fun time. And also the trivia episode, Google Trivia, Google Trendy words. But yeah, no, it's just it's overall like a fun time, and I had with it, and just shocked more than anything else when you first asked me.
I mean, that's extremely valid at the end of the day. But again, as I have emphasized with just each and every single one of you guys in here, you all absolutely deserved it, and we had great conversations. And obviously, especially with like, with some of the people in this call, like, I think the best part about this podcast is not just like the actual interview itself or like just getting this stuff set up, but it's all the cool stuff we've been able to do afterwards. Getting to keep up with you guys and seeing you guys like grow and doing your own stuff, or like, you know, helping out with other people's stuff. Like, I think that's why I really wanted to do this for the 200th episode, because I almost feel like a proud parent, like getting to chat with you guys, just being like, look at what you guys have been able to do. Like, it's so awesome. I love you guys. You guys mean the world.
You mean the world.
My baby's getting older.
They grew up so fast.
Well, I mean, like, for example, like, Ash, you kind of emphasized this or whatnot, but, like, you know, we got to the opportunity to do a really cool thing of having the first, like, in real life episode of the podcast in this in like recently, like last year or whatnot, which still blows my mind. And Trey and Rip, I know they're not here right now, but I sincerely wish they were, because I cannot thank those guys enough for actually taking the time to do that, because that was great. But the fact that that was an extension of us being able to meet up with each other and actually, like, getting the opportunity to meet some of the cool people that I've had a chance to chat with all the time when it comes to this podcast or whatnot. Like, I cannot thank you guys enough for allowing me into your guys' lives enough to get that opportunity. It still blows my mind that I got to do it. All right.
It's absolutely fun. And side note, we're going to go on a more recent trip soon with all of us again. And, obviously, I don't think, unless you plan to have any other artists or any episodes, but we're all gonna have a fun time and see each other again, and that's also like a really fun part, just like the friendship, like that like I don't know, because you like initiated like some friends of mine and Taze and Bill's, like, and we formed like this friend group, and it's just been really nice to have you as a friend as well.
Look, all I'm going to say is I can't wait for the Jorge episode.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
Is it though? Anyway.
I mean,
I'll only see it if they watch it.
I mean, I'm gonna get them on at some point.
That was a Hollywood moment right there.
Yeah.
Bill, how could you?
How could I? Oh no. Anyway.
I was gonna say,
anyway.
I was speaking of that IRL trip, because that was a trip where I got to go to MomoCon and meet so many different people for the podcast. What's funny is I'm looking at this draw pile right now. One of the people that I got to meet in real life is in the draw pile, but not in the call right now. Jayfawn, I see you. I love you. I hope you hop in the call at some point.
Lurking.
He's here, but he's not here.
Yeah, they're
he's with us, but in spirit.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I think their pronouns are either she, they, or just she. I think one of the two. But like,
you can check.
That is true. But I was gonna say, regardless, like, I just like how they're doing that little doodle with the friendship knife. Just
Yeah.
Gonna stab you with it.
Stabby.
Feel the friendship.
It's not lethal, but it's not lethal, but it can. The pain is worth it.
The pain Bill,
pain is meaningless to me.
Bill, I just want to say I'm glad you also brought the point of, like, guests to bring on the podcast in the future or whatnot, at least when it comes to like Jorge or whatnot, because that's another good thing that I want to emphasize with you guys real quickly. Thank you guys for not only being a strong enough bond to take the time to be on the podcast, but to also like recommend people to hop on the podcast as well. I mean, Roya, you alone, how many people have you recommended I have on the podcast in one form or fashion?
Yes.
I mean, like, I can still recommend like a couple people to you if you want.
Oh, my DMs are always open if you always want to recommend me people. I mean, like, I think that's also like really cool when it comes to like just think of like the different friend groups that we have. That there's all these different artists that deserve their own time in the sun, and I am more than happy to give to them. But also, like, I appreciate you guys showing that love for the arts, not just enough to get your stuff out there, but to try to lift up other people in this community as well. Like, it's I cannot words come back to me. Words are wonderful. Like,
they sure are.
I mean, I can only imagine what it's like for you guys to. Wow, why did I just go brain dead for a second there?
Take a second. Breathe.
Can you tell that I'm a minimal bit of nervous about what we're doing here?
Just a little.
Mm-hmm.
That's
really? You're nervous?
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. I mean, to be fair,
just a tad.
Because like I got a good group of people right here and whatnot, and we're having good conversations so far. But also, like, again, this really does mean a lot for me. Like, I've emphasized this way too many times when it comes to the podcast itself and what we've been able to do and all that jazz. But like, what you guys have helped me be able to do, not only with taking the time to be on the podcast and making the thumbnail, but recommending me other people's and allowing me to do like other silly, wacky, crazy stuff like on the side of it as well with like Google Trendy and such. Like, I appreciate you guys like really helping me take
Well, another special thing we did on the off the cuff that one night,
which I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it.
I know. I know.
That
you
doesn't
are
sound
A-okay.
like a project that you were discussing.
Let's just say
that one night that we shared together.
Beautiful.
It was a beautiful night.
Let's just say that we decided to do something just on a whim, just for the shits and giggles of it.
Yeah?
And I've been lazy enough. I've been lazy about editing it together.
Valid. You're valid.
Yeah.
Recorded it.
What exactly is this thing that you
We'll see soon
haven't
enough.
edited together? Because the way that you phrase that, I think that you're still the euphemistic implications are still kind of there. Is the thing,
Bro,
And?
Bill is straight as a board. Don't even.
that doesn't mean that there can't be euphemistic implications. Is the
Let's-
thing.
Thick bitches.
Let's just say that I have a fun bonus episode idea that I've been meaning to get around editing. That is all that I'm gonna say, because I want it to be a surprise, not just for the people in this call, but for the audience out there that are watching this episode and have been sticking along with this podcast for years now. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if not,
Yeah.
just for the
Ideally.
I would say for people out there, first off, if this is your first episode, I recommend you check out some of the other episodes, like with other cool, incredible guests and such, because it'll give you an idea why I'm bringing people like the incredible people in this call in for episode 200. But if this is your first episode, like, thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
If this is your first episode, what are you doing? Also, hi.
Also, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I am curious because I know with each of you guys you've had your own cool fun experience when it comes to the podcast in one form or fashion, whether it be your own episodes or guests that I have brought on the podcast and some of the stuff some of the cool moments I've been able to have. Do you guys have a personal favorite moment, whether it be from your own episode or something that or one of the other guests, or maybe like some of the bonus stuff that I've been able to do? Just out of curiosity.
Well,
The other one.
Say that again, Tay.
The weather one.
Oh yeah.
The one that I animated.
Yes, indeed. For those that don't know the context, for the first episode of Google Trendy, which is something I have added within the range of 100 to 200 episodes, but with the first episode of Google Trendy, I always have Google Trendy start off by having my guest doing small talk. And well, Ash, do you want to recreate your question real quickly on what got Tay going?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's like, just like,
Just
so it's just like, oh, hey, just make small talk, and then I'm gonna interrupt and like barge it. I'm just like, so hey Tay, how's the weather where you live at? How's it going with that?
I hate that question so much.
That's how it went.
That's how it went.
It's a great animation, and it's a great episode.
It is a great
Anytime
episode.
someone says that, it just makes me think of the SpongeBob joke where it's just like, "Hi, how are you?"
Hi, how are you?
That is-
What weather we're having.
That is such a Pavlovian response that we all just had right there. What in the world?
Yeah.
Everyone knows
Literally,
it.
me
We
and
hear
my
it, we must say
sister all day
It's a
were just
classic.
doing the SpongeBob like tie your shoes song.
Oh my god.
Loop-de-loop and pull.
Classic Ween.
Shoes are looking good.
Also, Jake, when did you join the call?
Oh,
Hi.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the drop pile
He-
the drop pile just stopped piling for a second.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
think it was you.
I was like, sorry, I apologize because I'm recording with OBS, so I can't hear when someone joins or like leaves the call or whatnot. So I was just like, next thing I know, I'm hearing Jay. I'm like, oh, that's a voice I don't remember. Jay, when did you get in here?
I literally it's like if I you were just minding your business and I just shotgun myself through your window. It's just like, hey, what's up, man?
I mean, I knew you were at least remotely involved because I've been seeing you draw your friendship knife in the middle of this draw pile. So,
Yeah, it's my special friendship knife.
Delicious.
well, I guess before we continue, Jay, do you want to introduce yourselves to the audience since you wanted to join us in?
Yeah, I should probably do that. Oh, I'm scared now.
Take your time.
Hi, I'm Jay, otherwise known as screaminjayfawn. I draw things, as you can see.
Can you tell us more about the friendship knife?
It's my way of being like, hello, I want to be your friend.
Oh my
in
god.
the most non-harmful way possible.
I love it.
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, I don't think you used the friendship knife on me whenever you first approached me, just like, showing love and support for the podcast. And then I approached you being like, do you want to hop on the podcast?
I don't know. It's like my instinctual response is to be threatening, but in a friendly way.
Honestly, valid. That is extremely valid.
I like that.
But anyways, back to what we were talking about beforehand. I don't know if anyone else has any moments that they want to emphasize. What are some cool moments that whether it's with your own episode or, other episodes of other people that have been on the podcast, what have been some of your favorite moments when it comes to this podcast?
The nose bug.
The nose bug. Oh my god, I will never live that down.
So for context, like we were talking about in my Roshan episode, we were talking about some other VTubers, and what Post wanted to say was big nose bug because we had her in conversation, but he kept saying nose bug. And I was like, what are you talking about?
I forgot the big.
You forgot the
no.
big. It still cracks me up to this day.
It's little snafus like that always get me, whether they're intentional or not. Like just like for butchering up someone's name or just forgetting a little thing. I always laugh about it at the end, obviously, but also part of me is just like eternal embarrassment until the end of time.
You sound like you're advertising snafus.
Although I will say, Snafu, really good podcast hosted by Ed Helms.
I knew it.
But for example, the one that I will always remember and I will never live down to this day is having a guest on the podcast, Reg Sevchenko, which is who's a fantastic guest. Before the podcast, I had asked, hey, how exactly do you pronounce your name? Because I'm not very familiar with it. He told me how to pronounce it or whatnot. I do the little icebreaker question, do my little lead up. Welcome to the podcast, Reg Sevchenko, with all my heart into it or whatnot. And he's like, well, thank you very much, but first off, it's pronounced R-Reg.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No.
So, it's that little subtlety. I mean, to be fair, I still, mess it up and butcher it. I mean, literally last week's episode, Abiha Tariq, I thought her last name was pronounced Tariq, but apparently it's pronounced Tariq, and I didn't know about this until the end of the episode when she was talking about her plugs. So she didn't correct me anytime throughout the episode whenever I said her last name.
Oh no.
Maybe it's part of the bit.
Well, I think the way that she said is she has heard both pronunciations and she's never really gone out of her way to correct people on it.
Okay.
I mean, to each their own more than anything else. But again, snafus aside, any other good moments, any other fun times? Because I can think of plenty of fun times I've had with you guys.
I'd honestly like to say, not to put myself in the middle of the stage, but I really did enjoy. I really did enjoy the podcast that you did with me, because I honestly don't talk about my characters with anybody that often, because I keep getting this sense of I guess secondhand embarrassment when I talk about it. But it really was a fun experience.
I mean, you should be able to talk about your characters. Your characters are fucking awesome, to be blunt.
Thank you.
And I was gonna say, in a similar vein, I will say one of the favorite moments that I was able to have, two good things to come from that podcast is, one, the incredible thumbnail that you made for it, which I bought in poster form and is on my wall right now for everyone to see when it comes to episodes and such. And then secondly, whenever we got to meet up at MomoCon itself, that was just awesome. That was just surreal. It was cool to just bump into you.
Yeah, because I forget that we technically don't live that far from each other.
No, we don't. We're in the same state. It's really wild.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
We need to hang out more often. I need to stop, like, being a hermit sometimes.
I do too. It's like the pandemic has just really like made my socializing worse.
Yeah.
And it's like I need to remind myself to go out and socialize.
Like, my socializing wasn't good in the first place, ironically enough, as a host of this podcast.
Relatable.
There's an irony, but it's a good irony.
It is a good irony. It is a good irony.
It's a funny irony, and that's what podcast hosts need to be, is funny, so...
Be funny.
Be funny now.
Funny.
Now.
I was going to say, in that case, I think I'm doing a halfway decent job.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry, that was really mean. Oh my god.
No, but it was
Sure, like I guess. Like I can't believe
No,
you
he's
like
good at his job. I'm sorry.
Like I guess.
I'm tone drier than a fucking bone.
I'm too autistic to be making this much of a deal over specific word choice.
mood. That is a mood. I was gonna say also, speaking of like cool stuff that happened around that MomoCon weekend or whatnot, Ash, I know you can probably attest to this because you were there when it happened. But when we did the Google Trendy episode with Wiley and George,
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
a major highlight. One,
And yeah,
I was gonna say, you say your
Good.
piece.
I was just gonna say, I think the funniest part, and we didn't realize till like way after, like when the trip was over, practically, or later afterwards, because the thing was, so we were at this Airbnb in Georgia, or in Atlanta, and when we were trying to do because we were recording like in the upstairs master bedroom, and every time the power would go off,
Yep.
and we would have to
Oh.
stop and re-record, and we were just going like, what in the world is causing this issue to happen? Because we had to have our buddy Adam, like keep like fixing like the breaker and shit. And we're just like, what the fuck keeps happening? It happened like 5 times until we realized our friend Edward, it was because of his charger that was fucking up the breaker or something like that, I think it was.
Oh my god.
Because he is like a different charger because he's from the UK, and so he was trying to plug it into like the US ports, and it kept fucking up the electricity for some reason. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
they got
the
those
fuck
weird,
is going
weirdly
on?
pronged ones.
Yeah, so it's
He's
so
just
we were
trying
just
to
like,
stick the wrong prongs into hopefully this will approximate it.
No, it wasn't.
hopefully, yeah.
Well, it wasn't that. It's one of those because his charger had like a little adapter, so it adapted from whatever it was previously to the Americanized one or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I guess that like took like a good chunk of power out of it. That whenever we
Yeah.
were trying, because I had also had like my own I think I had my ring light while we were trying to record to make sure that it, in an IRL space it looked
Yeah.
halfway decent. Like fairly well lit,
Mhm.
and I think just because of that, it just overpowered the breaker in that room. Like just that little dinky little
Yep.
charger that we were not
Nice.
using
Yep.
in that moment.
Yep.
Crazy.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's Atlanta for you.
But yeah, I was gonna say regarding my favorite moment ever, I think it's the same thing of like, not even my episode, which I do like the moments we have when my episode, but more so just for your first ever live episode with Rip and Trey.
Yep.
And for one, getting those guys because they do amazing amazing charity work and whatnot with tough scenes and everything, and having them shine through and talk about that, but also just having a lot of our friend group there, live audience, we all get to hang out and stuff, and shoot the shit, but it was just like an overall amazing experience, and it's probably one I will never forget.
Trust me,
And posted add enough to this drawing.
I think you've done more than enough with that drawing because it looks absolutely stunning.
You want to add more so I don't take up more space?
Joseph Stunton.
I was gonna say,
Thank you.
I was say, Tay, you can take up more space. You're more than welcome to expand that to the other.
Really?
Yes.
You could listen. You could draw. You could
Twice as much space as you for art that's like a 16th as good.
Hold on,
Oh,
listen.
don't say that, that's mean.
You can take the space right next to Izzy here. Next to my drawing.
Yay!
Go ahead. It's good. I did 2 drawings. I contributed.
I mean, you're
Well,
more
now
than,
just like randomly sketch on other people's.
there you go.
No, I'm kidding.
At least for
I'll
the
sketch
thumbnail.
near other people.
You could, yeah, like I said, you could sketch all this space right here.
Just add some
whatnot.
touch up.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Oh, shit.
we have all this space, and for those that don't know, this is going to be the thumbnail for this episode. So feel free to fill it up as much as you can. Add some cool stuff.
We need some clickbait.
No, not the clickbait.
No, I'm kidding.
It's
I'm
like
kidding.
red
Some
circles and
knockers.
arrows everywhere.
Did you see it?
200 drawpile challenge impossible.
Goodness.
I went to the Postmodern Art podcast at 3 a.m. and this is what happened.
This is what happened.
Oh boy, 3
We're gonna summon Mr. Moneybags. I'm gonna need your prayers in the comments. So make sure to
Smash that like button.
Postmodern Art Podcast at 3 in the morning.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Oh boy, 3 a.m. Oh shit.
It's just okay. I think it's just like if you say anything, SpongeBob.
Yep.
Yes, Pavlov.
That's what happens.
See, this is why I have been pushing.
We're all.
This is why I have been pushing for Tom Kenny to be the new official host of the Postmodern Art Podcast, because that way more people will come in and they'll just do nothing but quote SpongeBob, but that'll get all the clicks, and I'll get all the money.
Where are you gonna go?
I think he would get a lot of guests because he would be famous, but then you wouldn't be able to host the podcast because he would be hosting the podcast.
Then where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do now?
I'll just start another podcast.
And you might make I'm worried, and you could make something entirely new, and it wasn't quite you, and it wasn't quite you.
And then it's
do
gonna
the
become
pod art
corporate level, and then they're
plus.
gonna start making like merchandise of it, and then they're gonna start making like Bitcoin and crypto out of it.
Oh no, that's where I'm gonna put my foot down. They better not do that with my precious baby.
AI postmodern art podcast.
No,
Kenny.
Back,
Tom Kenny's new Bitcoin, Tom Kenny's new AI empire is going to be founded upon the ruins of what was once Postmodern Art Podcast.
It's gonna be a single like 5-second video of Tom Kenny saying "skibbity" in the SpongeBob voice.
Oh my god.
No.
Have y'all seen like the guy who made Gravity Falls on stage quoting the Grunkle Stunkle wins the Funkle
Oh,
Pop.
He was like,
Amazing.
I remember like he was like all over Twitter, like retweeting like so many of like the re-edits of that YouTube poop, like when it became
I'm not
huge.
shocked. That's like his style of humor, and he like it helps get
There's so
like,
many.
the show. It gets eyes on the show.
Well, to be fair, this was around the time that Book of Bill like came out, so
Yeah.
like the
My
like
book.
the
Not your book, Bill. Not yet.
Not
We'll
the
make you a
Bill.
book.
Sorry, I had to do that at least once.
You want a book? We'll write you a book.
You said it like it was you said it like you're challenging a dog. You want a book? You want a book? You want a book?
buy my book, buy my book from the critic. Buy my book.
God.
I cannot
Listen, it's
believe
an
you said
asylum
the
episode.
Critic. That's crazy. You said the
Bill
critic.
book.
Life of Bill.
Nostalgia critic?
No, Bill book.
No, the critic, the cartoon.
Yeah.
The only
yeah.
good.
Oh, I legitimately, fully thought you were just referring to the nostalgia critic as
No, fuck no.
I thought you were like,
That,
Oh my
that
God.
guy.
so familiar with his work that you were like, oh yeah, the critic.
No, that like.
this is more about
Unironically,
us.
the nostalgia critic kind of ruined my perception of movies for a bit
That's valid.
in a not so good way.
Yeah,
Like, that's
it can
everyone-
ruin your perception of movies in a good way, I think.
In a way, like it kind of like radicalized me on being like, you know what? Films are like the films that he's making fun of. They could be fun. Like, what the fuck is he on about?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I could have like put my foot down when he like made fun of like the first Pokemon movie, but like I didn't care at that point.
He what?
That was like one of his very first episodes.
You gotta understand,
I was
Tay
about to
was
do that.
born in the early
That happened.
2000s.
Now that you say that,
To be fair,
it's on site.
to be fair, I was also born in like the mid '90s, so I understand.
Oh yeah, same.
Listen, I love Pokemon. You don't fuck with Pokemon, alright?
Look,
You're on Pokemon right now.
I learned not to take Nostalgia Critic too seriously whenever he made an album insulting the wall while making an album worse than the wall.
Oh,
Can we
Jesus.
have Nostalgia Critic in the thumbnail?
Right now.
Do an
Hopefully
episode
Okay.
on
No.
Postmodern Art
No.
Podcast.
I have one better. Post
Lightbringer.
dressed up as a nostalgia critic.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Okay, first off, unironically, I would not be against having him on the podcast just for the shits and giggles of it. But I will dress up as Nostalgia Critic if I can get the Nostalgia Critic on. I will do that.
Oh my god.
Just show up like
don't tempt him.
unannounced, like don't even tell him you're doing it. Just like turn on your camera and you're dressed exactly like him, like that one the bum fights guy did with Dr. Phil.
Yep. Like,
That's
I have
fucking
one
Except
thing
in
you
this
need
case,
to
you
do.
would be Dr. Phil dressing up like the bum fights guy.
yep.
You have to do the
When are you gonna
blank
get
white
Dr. Phil on your
wall.
podcast?
Sorry, say that again, Tay.
You have to do the white wall in the background.
Oh, yeah.
This
oh,
is
man.
very specific.
I could just see if
But
I
then
can. No, here's the thing. All I would just have to do is just find like an image of that wall, like on like just somewhere out there, and then set that as like my Discord background, so I don't have to like find a new space for it or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, perfect.
I'll help you find the wall. Don't worry, it's easy.
I'll help you find the wall.
Yeah, that sounds like such a threat.
I'll help you.
I'll help you
find
I
the
know
wall.
my tone is dry, but that wasn't a threat.
It's funny though. Don't worry about it.
It's easy to find. Come with me.
Don't worry. I'll help you. No, you want threatening?
I can threaten it. Don't worry, I can help you find the fucking wall.
To cry about.
You want to find the wall?
Hey, we're going in the
Don't
wrong
worry,
direction.
I'll help you.
I'll help you find that fucking wall.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Now we're approaching Dexter villain.
Jesus. Well, hold on.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
before we go too much further down the path of insanity, there is one thing I did want to emphasize. I did want to talk about real quickly, just in general, when it comes to like cool experiences and cool moments or whatnot. I think one of the coolest things that I've been able to do, aside from obviously, MomoCon doing all that cool stuff, but one of the coolest things that I think happened from episode 100 to 200 more than anything else is the introduction of a brand new logo when it comes to the podcast itself. And I can't thank anyone else other than obviously, Roshan, Roya here. Like,
Hello.
I know we've talked about this before, but I cannot tell you how much I love that logo you designed. I cannot
Both of them?
Yeah, I mean, both of them.
Both.
Like I was wondering which one you were referring to. The first one I did, or the second
you're
one.
Right, you're right. I forgot. Yeah, no, it's right because you did the retro style logo and then like the new official logo. But the retro style logo has been around for a while. I was talking about like the official logo for the podcast.
Yeah.
Like I know we talked about it on our episode of the podcast, which again, linked will be in the description below. I got y'all covered. But like,
oh my gosh,
it must have been weird and surreal for me to come to you and be like, I want you to design this logo. Like, I want you to make I want you to be the official vision for what the podcast is going to be in the future. Can you help me out?
I'm like, okay, sure. Like I distinctly remember I was like in like a restaurant like while I was like on my own like when I got there I'm like okay I'll do it.
I'm eating my chicken right now.
No, that pretty much happened.
It's awesome though.
Oh no, it's incredible, and I cannot thank you guys. I cannot thank you enough for just how much of like a new excitement you more or less put with the new logo. I mean, don't get me wrong. The previous thumbnail, as done by Salvador Salcido, has definitely served me well, and I would not be here without his help in the first place. But like what you're able to do and like the new energy that this new logo gives or whatnot, it's just it's chef's kiss, beautiful, magnifique.
Yeah, I'm glad because I was worried that. I was initially worried that like it was like a little bit too busy because I was like mainly inspired by like a lot of like 90s like aesthetics, like which is like what like the aim of like what I was going for that particular logo. But like I've just like been getting like nothing but praise from like this logo and also the retro version of the logo as well, which like it just makes me so happy. Especially what also makes me especially happy is like whenever like the logo itself or like some variant of the logo is used like on like thumbnails, and like I tend to like go back to like the podcast like episodes that like use like my logo, and then it just like brings a smile to my face.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it certainly it looks wonderful. Like whenever, it's especially plastered on there. Like whenever I had to add it to the Maxwell Adams episode. Yes, casual flex.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Postmodern Art Podcast flexing on these bitches.
I mean, look, to be fair, you guys are all a casual flex by y'all being here and showing the love and support for the podcast. I mean,
Listen, you can flex Maxwell Adams. It's okay.
Look, no, here's the thing. I'm going to take a moment to flex on some of the other guests I've had on the podcast. I'll take that time, but I at least want to say, but at least when it comes to you guys, like you guys like love and appreciate the podcast, like enough to the point to where like you still want to hang around, like you still want to potentially do some cool stuff, like what we're doing right now with the drawpile. Like I cannot tell y'all how much I love and appreciate you guys. Wanting to show that support, to be here, to showcase that kind of stuff in one form or fashion, whether it's a simple draw pile, doing some little bit of fan art here and there, spread, even as simple as spreading the word of the podcast. I mean, Jay, that was the main reason why I wanted to bring you on the podcast, is just to pay back for all the love and support you'd given to the podcast up at that point, just by simply spreading the word about it.
Oh yeah, it's much like honestly just you just going around and like letting these small artists know that hey, that their work is valuable and important, and every bit of art matters and things like that. Because I often grew up wishing that there would be people out there that would pay more attention to smaller artists, and I'm not talking like small like Pinterest level artists, but like people that are just drawing for fun, and they want to share their artwork with everyone else. Because I mean, I'm rambling, but I mean, art is subjective. So,
I completely agree.
Yeah,
That's why I like the podcast.
Yeah, like, and it's like the diversity on like the artists that you choose. Like you like go from like industry level artists to like some like artists with like some internet popularity to even like some artists that like with like very few with like a very small follower count, but like just like how like you were able to like give like such a boost to like so many artists. So like I really like commend you for it.
I mean, it is the least I could do, because whenever I started this podcast ages ago, when I started this in September of 2020, like I know, right? Again, casual flex. No, but like whenever I started this podcast like that long ago, like thinking I would even get to this point, let alone talk to the people that I had to, like I didn't know exactly who I was going to be able to talk to. So like starting out, like I had a rough idea whenever I made my initial call, like for like people to hop on the podcast, to be a part of the podcast in one form or fashion, and I got some amazing guests just from that first little bit alone. But like what I've been able to do since then is both a testament to how much I have been able to grow to the point where I can talk to certain people, I can get in touch with certain people, and some of them would even know who I am well before I talk to them. But also like how much more comfortable and confident I am with myself the longer I've been doing this thing. Like you don't get the 200 episode, you don't get to do something 200 times without becoming more comfortable and really understanding what you're trying to do, what you're going for with every single step along the way. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wants more of a casual flex. No,
At this point, it'd be humble bragging. I'm kidding.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it would be. I mean, look, if there's one.
You're true, though, because it's like stuff like that. Sorry, it's like things like that is really just trial and error. Like you never really know unless you start.
Literally, like the best thing to come out of this episode is like whatever you want to like work on, like the best thing you can do is just start. Like it doesn't matter if it's like perfect, if it's like gonna be good or bad or like whatever. Like the most important thing to do is just start.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, trust me, I emphasize that for whoever wants to make art in the first place. Like just get your stuff out there. More like get it out there. Like it's not gonna be in the most perfect conditions. It might look a little rough. It might not, be up to the standard that you think it is. But like you've got to start somewhere, and there's gonna be people out there that are gonna love and appreciate what you put out there just for the fact that you took the opportunity to do it. I mean, if nothing else, like again, when it comes to this podcast, like I wouldn't have gotten over 2,000 subs at this point if I didn't put out the first couple episodes that looked really rough in comparison. Trust me, I had to go. Well, I mean, here's the thing, because I had to recently go back to the first episode, listen back to that episode again, because spoiler alert, next week's episode I'm bringing back my first guest of the podcast, Super D.
Woo!
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, I'm bringing him.
Let's
Nice.
go.
That's a great 201.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like literally 200 episodes after episode number 1, like bringing him back. And like I went back and listened to that first episode, and God, I could hear the difference between then and now. Like like first off, there was no intro for the podcast. It was just me cold cut, like just trying to talk before leading into like talking with the guest or whatnot. But also like I didn't have any sort of energy. My microphone quality was not that great. You could tell just how nervous I was with every single question that I am asking or whatnot. Like the fact that I can go back and listen to that first episode, and then here I am right now feeling a lot more comfortable and competent with what I am doing or whatnot. It's a real testament, and honestly a reason why I wanted to have a celebration of this kind with you guys here. To let you guys know again, thank you for helping me get to that point. Like I know a lot of this is emphasizing you guys and what you've been able to do. And again, I cannot thank you. I will thank you guys until the end of time for allowing me to be a part of your life, let alone give me the opportunity to try to give you guys a platform. But like without you guys, I wouldn't be more comfortable, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to talk to other people and have them, you know, talk about themselves and give them the platform that I think they deserve. Like without you guys, there is no podcast. That is point blank, end of discussion right there. So thank you all. Seriously.
Yay.
Feelings mutual.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course!
I hope that got picked up.
No, it totally did. It totally did. If not, I'll add.
hell yeah.
If not, I'll add the sound effect afterwards. I'll put that in there.
Of course.
I actually remember to change the mic on my fucking voice mod stuff. Instead of sounding like
I remember
I'm in
when you only used a phone.
yeah.
I remember.
You sounded like
when I
shit.
lost my mind.
Oh, I did.
There was something so pleasant about that place.
Don't
Even
start.
your
I'll say-
emotions have an echo in so much space.
I'll get him copywritten.
I
It's
remember.
fine, you're allowed to say the lyrics. It's like Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh God.
Goodness.
Oh
What?
no.
They say lyrics in that movie.
No, I'm just like thinking of that movie, and let's just say it's a really big coincidence that my family and I saw that movie on Mother's Day. It was a huge coincidence. We had no idea what we were expecting going into that movie.
Was it a Mother's Day hit?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? My family loves that movie. Like we were like watching like behind the scenes stuff like literally like as soon as we got home like after that.
Nice.
I saw people cosplaying as the raccoon guy.
Oh my God.
Raccoony or something?
Raccoony.
Raccoony.
Oh, that sounds very rough. Oh boy.
You know it doesn't. You didn't need to say that.
Anyways,
I'm not gonna say what's on my mind.
anyways, no, but like you know,
Stop implying.
there you go. No, I just
All right.
I wanted to say like a little bit further. Again, like, you know, I can't thank you guys enough for like genuinely helping me out get here. Like at the long and short of it, I can literally take like a full hour just thanking each and every single one of y'all for your time. But like genuinely, like the fact that you guys were willing to give me the opportunity to talk to you guys and give you a chance to talk about yourselves, but also the fact that you guys are willing to stick around, you know, well past that point and want to see more of this podcast and want to help it grow in more forms and fashions in one way or another. Like it makes me excited. It makes me happy for whatever may be next with the podcast, because obviously we are not slowing down anytime soon. That is the last thing that is the one thing I can promise you guys. There is no slowing down when it comes to this bad boy. I mean, don't be surprised if I take breaks or whatnot.
Right.
Don't be surprised if I take breaks or whatnot, but that's one thing. Like I'm talking about like the production itself. Like there are some things in the future that might have me concerned about that, but I will cross that bridge when I get to it, and that's hopefully way too far in the future for me to be concerned about right now. But like,
yeah, if anything, just don't overexert yourself because that art better not be a bitch.
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Take breaks when you need it.
The thing is, the issue is not whether or not I'm going to overexert myself. The issue is going to be if I can keep up with it if things change the way that I think it's going to change. Because like honestly, like with what I have set right now when it comes to this podcast and the energy that I put into it, I if I had any issue with it, I would have changed the schedule up like a long time ago, and I would have done things a little bit differently, like well before we got to 200 episodes. That's the part I'm not concerned about. It's what outside forces are going to change that might force changes otherwise, you know.
Yeah. Things outside of your control, you just kind of have to are forced to just kind of roll with it, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Which I understand that.
Anyways, we're just gonna move on from whatever that was. No, but like, but speaking of future stuff, if I may ask you guys out of curiosity, because I've already gotten plenty of recommendations from you guys or whatnot, but like we've already had plenty of fantastic guests from the past 200 episodes. There's got to be some dream guests for you guys. There's got to be some people that I imagine you guys would love to see on this podcast in one form or fashion. Do you guys have any dream guests that you have in mind that I should definitely take the time to go out and try to get on my own?
Matt Braley.
That was quick.
I mean, to be fair, that is a very valid one right there.
I mean, the creator of Amphibia. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He also has a comic, like a graphic novel, like that's come out. Hello.
Oh.
Hi, Wiz.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh.
Welcome on in, dude. It's been a minute. How are you holding up?
Yeah. No, I've been doing good. Just, yeah, I've been busy.
Honestly, I do not blame you one bit.
Yeah.
Since you popped in here, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience real quickly? We're not live, by the way. This is pre-recorded, but still.
Yeah, don't. Okay, yeah. I'm Wisdom None. I have a show, a web series on YouTube called Bob's World. I've been making it since I was 14, and we're working on a 4th episode right now.
Let's go.
I'm also in a band with my siblings called None Above. I'm a drummer, and we make music. Yeah, so you can stream us.
I was gonna say I highly recommend you check out both the show and the band, but especially when it comes to the show, check out like the newest episode that's out so far, because it's all really good. It's all good. No, it's a good thing that you popped in at this point, because we were talking about, like, obviously we've had a lot of amazing guests in the past, like 200 episodes or whatnot, yourself included. Trust me, it was really cool and surreal to have you on whenever you appeared on the podcast, especially given like your history and what you've been able to do. But I was just asking everyone else, like, you know, obviously we're not slowing down anytime soon, and it'd be cool to see what the future could hold for the podcast. But again, either for yourself or for the other people in this call, we already got Matt Braley as an episode, but what would be a cool dream guest that you guys would personally love to hear about and learn more about on this podcast?
Fucking hell.
Wild.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, that's a given. I've just wanting to see you try to match Jorge's energy, because he is balls to the walls, fucking nutty when he can be.
Yeah, he has a different energy that I'm gonna try to keep up with. I think I've kept up with y'all's energy pretty good for each of y'all's episode, but you know,
yeah,
he's a whole different like ball.
And genuinely, he
like for Jorge.
Yeah.
For Jorge specifically, I would love to like hear, like, especially since he is also autistic, like I would love to hear his like perspective on like how his autism like
thinking of a different Jorge.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to clarify Wild. He's one of my old friends.
I was thinking of Gutierrez.
Yes.
That's completely valid. He's Wild is also a fan of the.
You just said he's a whore.
You should have clarified.
I'm sorry. I'm so used to like when I mean Jorge, I usually mean my fucking brother in arms.
Wild
Hey,
Play-
Roy, I
Wild
also
Plays
thought we were
Games.
talking about Gutierrez.
Wild
first.
plays games.
Okay,
Wild,
I'm glad I'm not the
Wild
only
goes
one.
crazy. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
be-
But they would.
Sorry, go on.
But like that, honestly, like it would be great if we get Gutierrez somehow are able to get Gutierrez onto the podcast.
Jorge
That'd be sick, too.
Jorge Gutierrez is someone that
You're trying so hard.
Jorge Gutierrez is someone that I have been trying so hard to have on the podcast for like ages at this point. I'm pretty sure I had him on as like one like on my initial like dream guest list or whatnot. I'm pretty sure he was one of the names I put down. So,
I also remember the Russian Badger.
the Russian Badger would also be a good like fun one more than anything else. I mean, I'm gonna be kinding living that dream because spoiler alert, at some point in the near future, I guess that I recently booked on the podcast is Lythero.
Wow!
Yes.
Fucking go, baby.
And like in fact, at the time that we're recording this, I think we actually made plans for it last night to get the podcast recorded like sometime within the next coming weeks or whatnot. So keep an eye out for that one, people.
That would be awesome. Like, I love how much he's been supporting like the small animation community because of how like high quality his stuff is.
Like
his stuff is great.
When it comes to him, I love both like the high quality, like the entertainment that he provides on his own, but like actually willing to go out there and get like animators and such all within the community to like do some cool stuff and like provide some cool animations for his video to bring scenarios that most people probably could envision, but like to actually see it played out in full. It's always incredible, and I love that. I was saying, speaking of that guy, speaking of Lythero, someone else that I would love that I personally would love to have on the podcast that I got in contact with at MomoCon is Paper Box House, aka Alfred. I have tried.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I have tried so hard to get him.
I'm guessing. I'm
Okay, that's my dream guest. That's now my dream guest for the podcast. Alfred Paper Box House. I didn't have one solidified before, but now that I've heard that.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna like guess that like Lythero like helped out with that connection.
I mean, maybe, who knows? I'm certainly gonna throw it out there, but I can't guarantee anything. I'll put it like that. I mean, that's always been the message I've more or less had with this podcast. At the end of the day, like I can certainly try, but I can't guarantee anything. It'd be cool if I got X, Y, and Z. I'll let you guys in on something. Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I'll even let you guys on a little insider stuff or whatnot. Like, I've sent emails to so many people. One of the people that I decided to just send an email to on a whim just to see if he'd respond is Nardwar. To see if I can get him on the podcast.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Ooh. For those uninformed.
Yeah. For those uninformed, he is a notorious interviewer or whatnot, like journalist as well as like making music on his own front. Interviewed such amazing people such as like Tyler the Creator multiple times, Andre 3000, ASAP Rocky. Like if you just name like a star within like the rock and the rap world, he's probably interviewed them at least once. That's a big name when it comes to that. And I just trust me, if I had interviewed him, I would have said it already. But I just emailed him on a whim. But if I could get him, can you imagine the amount of connections that I could get from him alone? Like,
it'd be pretty fun. My dude.
If you get Nardwar, you gotta look up all of the secrets about his life, and then you gotta surprise him by saying like secret coded messages that only he understands.
Right? I have to pull the Nardwar on the Nardwar.
Exactly.
I just keep your pants if it's so amazing. Belt.
Belt.
What was I gonna say? Like, so tell me about Mrs. Turner in 6th grade, or something like some weird stuff like that or whatnot. What was I gonna say?
You reminded me that like Lil Uzi Vert actually like sampled him in one of their songs.
I am not surprised by that whatsoever.
How do you put extra ingredients in your grilled cheese? It's amazing.
And specifically, like when it was like Lil Uzi Vert, do 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 do, thank you, like in one of their songs.
Fucking hilarious.
Doop 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 doop. Thank
Have
you.
I've seen like once a compilation of like everybody who ever didn't know how to respond doot doot to him or like just did it differently.
Oh goodness, it's always funny when it comes to those interviews or whatnot. I have set a personal goal for myself at the beginning of this year. For those who don't know, as well as doing this podcast, I have actually have a second podcast. I know it's surprising, but
You've been cheating on it.
I know. Look, it's a mutual relationship. Okay, like I'm not like I made sure that the Postmodern Art Podcast knows what I'm getting into. Okay, I'm not gonna leave them out in the cold. No, but for those who don't know, I have another podcast with another former guest of the podcast, Iris, aka Lutz, called "Get Connected" with Iris and Nathan. And one of the there's a New Year's resolution episode that should be coming out soon by the time that we're recording this. But one of the resolutions that I made in that interview or whatnot is that I want to get one of my top 3 like dream guests of all time within this year. Number 3 was Andre 3000. Just because of the impact that he has had on me growing up, both when it comes to listening to Outkast and loving that, but also Class of 3000 and what that was able to provide or whatnot.
Oh yes.
Like that is the ultimate. That is one of the major dreams. Plus, especially seeing like just how low key and what he's been able to do these days or whatnot. Like I'd love to get like the full journey of what got him up to that point. The number 2 is Steve Burns, aka the person that was the original Steve off of Blue's Clues.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Like
He seems so nice.
Yes, exactly. Like he seems so wonderful. Like just kind of knowing how open he can be at times with like his past and his journey or whatnot. Like that's one that I just love to have like the opportunity, not just to sit down and talk with him, but to also like just thank him for helping raise me, in a weird fashion or whatnot.
That's sweet.
Absolutely. And then number 1, for those that have known me since episode 1, you know that one of the biggest icons that I have standing right behind me is Tyler, the Creator. Like that is the ultimate dream guest. And like from what he has been able to do, not only what he's been able to do with like music, but also with entertainment, fashion, animation, all sorts of different form of fashion of what he's been able to do. He would just be an incredible guest just to get to all different forms of art, not just like the music aspect alone.
Yeah.
And so like hopefully
it's the perfect guest for the podcast. It matches everything you do.
Exactly. And hopefully I'll be able to do that within this upcoming year. But I mean, if I've learned anything from these 200 episodes, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who's going to say yes whenever you send out the email or the message being like, hey, I'd love to have you on the podcast. Like to be blunt, like this is the part where I'm gonna be bragging for a little bit. To be blunt, I didn't know I was gonna get Maxwell Adams on the podcast. That was a major shock for me whenever I got him on.
Yeah, that was
pretty sick.
That was a crazy pull. When I saw that, I'm just like, the creator of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It cost me $250 to get him on the podcast, but I got him.
Worth it.
I was expecting more.
Nickel and diming poor podcast.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if it was anyone,
I was trying to say owners.
Jesus. Here's the thing. If it was anyone else or whatnot, I'd be a little bit more hesitant. But considering the fact that it's Maxwell Adams, plus at the time, he's kind of struggling on his own, trying to deal with like mortgage and stuff like that because of being shafted by so many different things. So if there's anyone that I'm more than willing to be like, yes, I would be more than happy to pay you to come on the podcast, that's the guy. That's the guy. But like being able to get him on the podcast, getting Senor Palo to come on the podcast, that was a really cool
bro. When you told me how he contacted you after you asked him, that was the funniest shit.
Oh yeah, just how blunt he was, or how easy it was to just chat with him.
I straight up.
I distinctly remember like when you were saying like, hey, like guess who I got onto the podcast, like when like you were able to get like the odd ones out like on your thing. Yeah, like you were like skirting around it for a bit, not even like point blank being like, well, it's just like I was able to get this like one like animation YouTuber, like I was like, oh hey, like who could it be? But it was,
you know, sometimes I like having fun telling my friends the cool things I get to be able to do. You know, like, cause at the end of the day,
it's fun. It does, yeah.
Because like at the end of the day,
you know.
Yeah, you know.
Sorry.
Oh, goodness.
That's okay.
No, because like at the end of the day, like it's always gonna be really cool, and that's why I love like coming to you guys and be like, look at this cool person I got to chat or I get to chat with, or look at this, you know, X, Y, and Z. Look at this. Look at the person look at the fact that I get to talk to like Left at London or Will Wood or again Odd Ones Out.
I was
Like,
just gonna bring up Left at London. Like that was also a pretty awesome poll because I love her music so much.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
She's been an icon for like ever, like especially it's like how she like keeps going back to like her like some of her old like videos.
Yep. Ah, goodness. Like it's guests like that as well as guests like y'all that again I'm sitting here in my dinky little bedroom with my wall full of memorabilia, plushies of things that I love surrounding me, and Lord knows how many opportunities I've had to talk to you guys, and I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, how did I get here? How did I get to this point to where here we are 200 episodes later, I get to talk to y'all about these cool things, and I get to consider y'all some of the coolest and closest friends that I could ever have for any of this stuff.
Wow.
Well, you were born, and that's how it started, and yeah.
It all started on this specific date.
And now you're paying taxes.
Don't remind him of the bad parts of life.
Always look on the bright side of life, like letting the days go by, letting the water hold me down, water flowing underground.
Paying your taxes is temporary.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
I mean, like,
Once in a lifetime.
I mean, to continue with basically like let you guys know like how cool it is to chat with you guys. I mean, some of the people that are in this call alone, like with some of the cool stuff you've been able to do. Like Tay, look at what you've been able to do with your YouTube channel. Ash, look at the things you've been able to do with like your animation and your art stuff. The fact that you've been able to do that for years. Ace, the stuff that you've been able to do independently and like continue to grow. Like it may not be a linear path, but you've still been able to make cool connections and do a lot of really cool things just in general. Bones, B, the opportunity.
Thank you for your incredibly soft way of putting that I haven't really made any progress in the past 2 years.
You've still been able to do cool stuff, all right? I've seen you releasing, you know, singles and stuff like that, okay? Like I still love and appreciate you.
Yeah. Sometimes I do a little bit, and I do like to believe that the little bit I do is pretty good, you know.
And it
is
pretty good.
Relatable.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but also like
progress is still progress.
Yeah, progress is still progress. It may not be linear, but it's still progress. All right, there are times. Look, if there's anyone that's gonna be talking about progress at the end of the day, I should be one to emphasize that because it's like, you know, yeah, I got 2,000 subs.
Whoa!
Oh, you good?
I don't know what happened.
Oh,
something happened, but
What happened?
I don't know. It just blanked on me for a sec. The site just blanked on me.
Oh, it just did a quick restart. It does that sometimes.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. Continue.
Weird that it doesn't seem to happen to everybody at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone in separate internet just doing its thing.
But anyways, but I mean, like, you know, for example, B, Bones, like the fact that you guys are still like, you know, growing to this point and like getting the opportunities like nowadays, like to really do some cool stuff and like, you know, keep growing or whatnot. I mean, freaking wow, words are escaping me. Come back to me.
You're really nervous.
Yes, I am.
Listen. Do you need some water? Do you need a minute?
I have water.
It's okay.
No.
I'm not being dry about this. I'm genuine here.
No, I know.
Listen, and the beautiful thing about recording is you can edit it however you want.
You
Exactly.
You think I'm gonna edit this?
Yeah, and
oh.
Top of the morning.
I get that reference. Skull for the skull throne. Skull for
Top
the
of
skull
the
throne.
He gets the reference.
No, the long and the short of it, like I genuinely could go on with each and every single one of you, and like how impressed I am with you guys, both as artists before I was able to bring you on the podcast, and what you guys have been able to do after the fact. And like I consider myself honored and blessed to be a part of your lives in one form or fashion at the end of the day, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that, genuinely. And like, if trust me, I'm gonna say it a million times over every single opportunity that I get, because you guys are legitimately some of the coolest people I've had a chance to talk to, and some of the coolest people that I get to consider friends at the end of the day.
That's so sweet.
It makes me happy.
Right back at you.
I appreciate that. It makes me happy knowing that, like, here we are again, 200 episodes, and I have this cool, cast of friends right here that are here, willing to show that love and support and celebrate. It makes me love and appreciate the. It makes me love and appreciate the journey I've been able to be on with you guys. And
thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine for you guys, like, I know that the future can be scary sometimes, thinking about what's going to be happening next in one form or fashion. But just know that, with whatever you guys do or whatnot, I'm a do what I've been doing since day one when it comes to this podcast, and I will continue to show you guys that love and support. And I'm going to always root for you guys and want to see you guys do the coolest stuff possible, because you all deserve it. You guys are fantastic. Not just artists, but you guys are fantastic people. And thank you for helping me get to this point.
Aww. Happy to help.
Yeah.
The feeling is the same.
Yeah, not to reuse a joke, but no thank you.
No thank you.
No thank you.
No, thank any of you.
Gotta slip that in third time to get the rule of threes at some point.
Rule of comedy.
What, you think this is a comedy? This is life right now. I'm joking.
Life is a comedy.
Joking.
Huh?
This is a comedy.
I mean, maybe at the Golden Globes it'd be considered nominated for best comedy, like The Bear.
So dumb. That's so dumb.
What
Why
they're
did they
gonna
do that?
What they're gonna pull a BoJack Horseman and like nominate like a book in like the Grammy in the Emmys?
Yeah, something like that.
I'll bring up any opportunity to bring up one of my favorite shows. It's brutal, but I love it.
Oh no, absolutely, it's brutal at the end of the day. I guess at the end of this...
I mean, it did...
Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say it did predict a writer's strike.
It did, but I mean,
that was predictable.
I feel like... Yeah, it did predict that.
We all saw that coming.
Yeah, we all saw that coming. No,
yeah, to be fair.
To be fair... No, sorry.
To be fair.
To be fair.
No, at the end of the day, like, I guess to put this kind of little fun recording in a nice little bow, at the end of the day, like, thank you guys for helping me get to 200. I said it before, I said it again, I could not be here without you guys showing that love support, and that extends to the audience as well, but especially for you guys for giving me the opportunity to be just a small part in your guys' fantastic lives. It really does mean a lot.
Yay.
Indeed.
Yay, we did it. Rule of threes.
We did it.
Woo!
And you know what they say?
I believe in Joe Hendry.
My God.
That would be another dream guest, by the way. Joe Hendry would be incredible to have.
Joe
on the podcast.
Joe Hendry on the Postmodern Art podcast would be the biggest fucking, like, coolest but funniest fucking thing to happen.
Right? That would be.
You know what would also be a crazy
fucking love
pull
wrestling.
is if you get the creator for Owl House.
Oh,
Dana Terrence? Oh my god!
Yes,
Oh my god!
That would be an
Holy shit,
insane pull for me more than anything else. Like, good lord.
Yeah, like, I love her artwork so much, and what she
her
did
art
with
is
Owl House.
amazing.
Yes.
She has a new art book coming out soon.
Yeah, she
Oh,
does.
I mean, shit, if he got that, then long story short.
He has risen, baby girl.
Oh my god.
This can't be the rest of the 2 hours.
Sure can.
Yes. Correct.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to add when it comes to just the discussion in general. I mean, you know, with what we've been able to accomplish in your guys' experience and whatnot. If there's anything you guys want to add, you're free to say it now or forever hold your peace.
What?
Is this
What?
a wedding?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Marriage.
What?
Marriage. I knew someone was gonna bring that up.
I mean,
fuck.
You're trying to say something, Ted?
No, I don't know.
God
Go ahead.
Well, why?
Go ahead, you do it.
Oh, fuck it. You want me to fucking do it? Fine, okay.
Yeah.
To be fair and to be honest, I was very glad and fortunate enough to have been even asked to be a part of this in the first place. Because, I don't know, I didn't really look at my journey initially as like something to really be thought of about until I got put into perspective and when we started to really talk about it. And how I have mavericked my ass into certain things, to be bluntly honest. But, yeah. but I've been very fortunate enough to kind of see from the distance to see how far you have come since then, and see how much you've grown as for the fucking podcast and for you as yourself as an individual post. And I'm very, very fortunate enough to consider you a brother.
That genuinely means a lot to me.
Through the thick of it and all that. So, you know, yeah, I'm glad to hopefully be here for the next however many more episodes it's going to be, and beyond at least.
It's going to be 1 million episodes. We're doing 1 million episodes of the podcast, people. Not slowing us down.
Yeah. 1 million episodes, Morty. Oh my god. I'm bringing back an old meme. No, it's
Oh god,
bad.
stop.
It's bad. It's a terrible
No, I didn't
show.
like that.
Anyway.
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah,
No,
that's the point.
And that's the end of the episode.
I gotta say, whenever you get to like 1 million views or 1 million followers, you need to do a backflip.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
On air, in front of everybody.
Do a backflip?
Look, okay, I will say, to be blunt, considering the fact that at 2,000 subs, I promised people a tattoo, which I am getting at some point in the near future. I feel like a million subs, all I do is a backflip, seems like a step down, to be honest with you.
You gotta
little
get
bit.
Oh
yeah.
Tattoos.
Maybe at 10K, do a backflip.
10K. At 10K, do the fucking backflip.
I'll tell you
I
what.
think that's a good idea.
I'll tell you what. If this video alone gets 10,000 views, I'll do a backflip.
Yes.
That's a
Other than
very
that,
tall
he
order.
never will.
That's a very tall order. So, folks, start rewatching the fuck out of this video.
Give it 10K, baby.
I'm just gonna have it on the
10K,
background.
see this motherfucker right here do a backflip. That's the sickest fucking backflip you could think of.
And to be fair,
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Oh my god.
Explosions and half naked chicks. I don't know.
I love the
We didn't
enthusiasm.
draw any knockers on the thumbnail. Who's gonna click on the video?
Well, you know.
You know. So quick,
You know.
Let's see. What's the clickbait thing? People draw a squirrel girl. Draw squirrel girl somewhere. That'll get the clicks.
Oh my god.
Please.
Oh my god, calm down.
Boop, there we go.
I'm a simple man.
The end.
Please.
There needs to be like one of those red foxes. Like there needs to be one in with the crows.
Where do you want it?
Like in the bottom left, there's like 17 million crows.
Got it.
I think
Yeah, sorry.
one of those,
Don't
I think, right in
apologize.
the middle of a bunch of crows needs to be a little fox.
Oh yeah, you've been doing.
Oh
Okay.
no, this fox needs to be everywhere. It needs to be everywhere.
Yes,
that is the rule for this.
This fox does need to be everywhere. I realized I went through this whole entire thing. I forgot.
Many
to
are
talk-
saying this.
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
we've done through like this entire discussion. I forgot to talk about the one person that's gotten me like the most views up to this point, Dubus Goobus. I wish he was here.
Oh my god.
Oh, buddy!
Yeah,
Yes, I love this.
My Undertaker.
that shit. I need to message him about that.
Right? I think I need to message him about that too. Dubis, if you're watching this, like, thank you as well for taking the time to do it. Like, with every single guest that has been on here, if you're not in the call right now, I wish you were here, but thank you so much for the time that you've dedicated to be on here, because like I told everyone else in this call, I would not be here without you. So thank you guys for what you do. Yeah, and yeah, and the sweet words that you guys have been given this last little bit of the recording, thank you guys as well. This has been genuinely a very sweet little recording.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing.
Go for it.
If that is okay.
Yes.
You put a lot of effort into what you do, and you help a lot of people, especially like smaller artists, and that alone already should get the credit. But the fact you've done it for this long, 200 episodes, is not small in any way. It's very big. So all credit to you and everyone that you have brought on to interview and help. And I hope you just keep going and your efforts are noticed.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I said, I'm not slowing down anytime soon, so hopefully more people will be able to hop on board the postmod art pod train sooner rather than later. But
No.
Yeah,
It's the
funny out
right
there.
train. That episode isn't even up anymore. Anyway.
Yeah. And if anything, it's also just inspiring me to try to do more with my work. Like, especially this year, I want to be able to get into making my own, like, little web.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like, especially with the characters that you have ready set to go for this thing. Like, I'm excited to see what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, I was mostly going to be putting that one on the back burner, and I was going to be doing more so like a fan one with my Pokemon OC.
No, that's valid. That is valid. I know someone just heard Pokemon and their ears just pierced up or perked up.
Perked up, yeah.
Yeah,
I love it. It's my childhood. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up playing Mystery Dungeon a lot, and I love that game to death.
I remember Coliseum. God, I'm old.
Coliseum's
good.
I wish I got to play that. I never got to play.
It was pretty great.
It was
The
interesting.
one on the Wii is basically the same if you had that one.
True.
It was like Coliseum was like a little more edgier one.
Yeah.
At least the main character was, because he looked cool.
There you go.
Cool as fuck.
Well, unless anyone else has anything left to say, I think that is a good place to start winding down this recording. Seeing the incredible thumbnail that we have before us, which, yes, for those who don't know, for those that were in the call earlier, yes, this drawing right here, this is going to be the thumbnail for the episode. So, yeah.
I feel like I've taken up too much space now. I feel bad.
Homie, no.
Bro, I've been drawing everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at Taylor.
Same here.
I did take over almost the entire bottom left corner.
Yeah. And besides,
it's like I rarely do draw togethers like this, so.
Let's see if I can get a few quick ones.
There you go. No, but seriously, like I said before, I said again, thank you guys for being a part of this journey so far, as well as being a part of this fun little recording right here. I need to be better about doing more drawpile stuff like this, because I know it's like fun little like bonus content for us just to sit here and just doodle silly stuff and just, shoot the breeze or whatnot.
Be a little funky.
Yeah, be a little funky, be a little silly. I need to get better about doing that. I need to get better about doing that.
It takes time to plan something big.
Honestly.
Yeah. I need to get better about just like doing more bonus stuff in general. Like, I know Google Trendy is one thing that I've been fairly solid about, doing here and there and whatnot, but I want to do like some like other bonus stuff, Like just get more opportunities to bring on like former guests again and just have them like, get to catch up and meet with you guys, because again, I love and appreciate y'all, and I want to continue showing that love and support. But yeah, unless you
draw up one more thing.
Well, unless you guys have anything else you want to add to the discussion, I think now would be a good time to start winding it down. So,
We draw faster.
I draw very fast.
I mean, I'll say I'm not closing down this. You guys can finish up your drawings or whatnot. Like, just because I'm ending the recording doesn't mean I'm ending the call. If you want to finish up your last little,
I need to draw Bill.
You need to draw Bill.
Bill's out of the thumbnail. We have a problem.
There I am.
I say Bill's in the thumbnail. Look at the little smile at the top right corner.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's me. I did that. I did another one over here going, oh.
Oh. That is like me when I see Squirrel Girl. Just oh.
Oh. No, me when I see Squirrel Girl.
Eddie, so
I believe we're ending the episode on this.
Yes, we are ending the episode on this alone. With that, for the people,
tell people to support artists.
Yes,
please.
No, absolutely. I was gonna say, with that, for the people at home, thank you guys for sticking around for 200 episodes of this weird, random concoction that I've been working on slowly for years at this point. Just like with the guests in this call, without you guys, all I'd just be is just a random person sitting in a room just talking to nothing. You guys continuing to show that love and support week in and week out really helps make this experience something special, and I don't know what I'd do without you guys. But with that, all I've left to say is, for the people at home, if you can, please support and please pay your artists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me it's parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, thank you. If this is your first time listening, why did you start with 200? It's meant to be a celebration, people. No, in all seriousness, if this is your first time, thank you, and I sincerely hope that this could be a good launching pad for you to go back and check out some of the other incredible episodes that we've put out. It was certainly a chaotic time, I can tell you that much. I don't know if you could tell, but I was a little bit nervous. So now that it's been a good couple of days since I've recorded that episode, I've wanted to take the time to tell you some thoughts that I didn't get an opportunity to say during that little celebration. First and foremost, I know I said this a million different times, but to everyone that took the time to be there, and to all the people that wanted to be there but couldn't for one rhyme or reason, thank you. Thank you guys for continuing to show the love and appreciation for the podcast, just as I have been gracious enough to show that love and appreciation back to you guys. It genuinely means a lot knowing that what little bit I can do really meant a lot to you. And it's something I genuinely hold near and dear. I also wanted to say thank you to two very important individuals that I'm kicking myself that I did not mention them in the middle of the podcast itself, but I want to thank the people that have helped produce this podcast. Tipsy J Hearts and Aiden Arts. Tipsy, I know I have showered your praises a million times over and over when it comes to this podcast, but genuinely thank you for taking a chance on me in the first place to help me out, and thank you for sticking along with me despite my bullshit sometimes and my inactivity in other times. And Aiden, thank you so much for being a real emotional support and emotional backbone to me sometimes when it comes to this podcast. And thank you both for your contributions to this. Whether it be recommending me incredible people that I've had the opportunity to chat with, or designing some incredible stuff that other people can really show and flash their love and support for this podcast as well. Your contributions cannot be emphasized enough. with what you guys do, and I cannot thank you guys enough, sincerely. I know there's a bunch of guests that wanted to be there, but for one reason or another just couldn't for this call. And I want to thank you guys, seriously. Like I said with the guests that were there, just all the guests in general, your love and support really does mean a lot to me. And I also want to extend that to the people that, the 2,000 and some odd subs that we have at this point on YouTube that have continued to show that love and support. Fans such as Lazy Daisy. Hell, their support alone has gotten it to the point to where I'm going to be getting some of their art tattooed onto me. If that doesn't show how much I love and appreciate y'all, I don't know what will. I could probably just take a whole nother hour of time, whether it be fans that I see interacting either in the Discord server or on Blue Sky or whatnot, or, close friends that I still do, incredible stuff with, like, just throwing a name out there, but, Iris from Get Connected with Iris and Nathan. Plug. No, I could go off on it, like I said, a whole nother tangent, a whole nother hour just talking about you guys, but hopefully this podcast, as well as the previous however many hours of content, should be a good emphasis of how much you guys genuinely do mean to me. And the fact that I still get to be considered part of some of y'all's community, it genuinely makes me feel welcome, and it makes me feel loved. And speaking of love, I want to give one of the biggest shout outs towards the end right here to someone that really means a lot to me. Someone that is usually by my side, is always by my side at this point. Someone that shows that same enthusiasm that, or at least sees the enthusiasm I have and truly reinforces it. Someone that despite all the insanity and all the craziness that's going on in the world, especially with whether it's what I'm doing or just in general, someone that I know is basically my sidekick and someone that is going to always have my back no matter what. And that's Christine. Christine, I hope you got up to this point. And thank you. Thank you for, despite everything, despite all the times that it seems like I am like super duper autistic on whatever guest I'm talking about, you continue to show that love and support, and it means a lot. I cannot thank you enough, and know that I genuinely love you from the bottom of my heart. Reminiscing on the fact that we've got here to 200 episodes, it makes me really curious on what's next more than anything else. The more I do this podcast, the more it just kind of makes me wonder what is always next. Because there are times where I have no idea what the next guest is going to be or who the next guest is going to be. I have no idea what pull I'm going to be able to do. I have no idea how the other guests are going to have me involved in their thing, for better or for worse. But I always have that optimism that whatever is going to be next, I have a good, strong group of people and a good, strong community that's going to be right by my side no matter what. Doing what we've done since day one, and that is showing that love and support to so many incredible artists in one form or fashion, and really bringing each other up at the end of the day. I'd like to hope that I've done at least a halfway decent job at doing that. But at the same time, I know you guys have all been doing a fantastic job doing that. And I want you guys to keep up that incredible work with whatever we do next, with whoever we talk to next, with whoever we're able to raise up and such. You guys are truly incredible people, and I've said it a million times before, and I'll say it a million times again. I would not be here without you guys. So whatever what wild, wacky, outrageous, interesting, unique, outstanding conversations that we're going to be having next with whatever overly fantastical artists that I'm going to be able to bring on in one form or fashion. No matter what happens next, let's be excited and let's continue to show that love and support like we've always had. Thank you guys for 200 episodes. And here's to the next, here's to 300, 400, 500, 1,000. However many we have going forward.